Hey, sports fans, welcome to Sports Night with Jorge once again, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. I am back. I haven't been working a lot. My topic today is Tua, Tyreek Hill, and Waddle. These three combinations of players for the Miami Dolphins when they started, especially together as they were drafted, except, of course, Tyreek Hill, who was actually traded from Kansas City to Miami, or he signed uh, with Miami. They had a great season. The only thing of these three players is their health. They have to remain healthy at least these 17 games for 2025. Looking at Miami free agency pickups, we still, of course, have the draft. My only concern is the defensive tackle. Jack Sealer is the only guy we have. We have nothing that could actually back up that position. But let me go back to the topic that I was talking about. Tariq injury last year, especially the wrist injury. Of course, we know the incident that happened the last game of the season. I imagine their frustration, their emotion, and that happens to a lot of players, especially when they want to win. Now, Tua, a little concerned. The last three games of the season last year, remember, did not play. Yes, a little bit concerned because now it's a hip injury. And maybe it wasn't a hip injury. Maybe it was something just to protect his hip. Remember, he had hip surgery in college. So that's a little concern coming to the 2025 season. Now we look at the Waddle. Lately, and once again, I'm a positive person. I'm not going to bring these players down or talk bad about them. But, you could see that Waddle was dropping passes as Tua was throwing to them. Even if Tua threw it or either the other quarterbacks threw it to him, he was dropping passes. And, of course, it takes time to develop with other quarterbacks to come in as Tua was out. So, which it was Tyler Huntley. Which I think he did a good, decent job. Then we came up and we signed Zach Wilson. Don't know about that pick. I'm not going to, talk here and say that he's going to be the savior for the Miami Dolphins. But with Mike McDaniel offense and with Mike McDaniel's system, might help him develop. So we have to remain and see what happens as the season goes along. But the key factor here is, can Tua, Waddle, and Tyreek Hill stay healthy? Of course, we also need the protection of Tua and the offensive line. Now, I'm happy with the pick they have picked, Daniels from the Pittsburgh Steelers and the guy that they picked up from the Bears, which is great. I mean, I think they did pretty well on the offensive line, and of course, restructuring Austin Jackson contract. So that's a good thing also for the Dolphins. I'm proud in that part, but we still need probably one offensive tackle. On the defensive side, now I'm not worried. A lot of fans are because of the departure of Holland. But let's be honest, Hollins was injured last year, and he was been injured a couple of years. So sometimes a change is good. Now, our depth in that position, yes, I know that we bought all these players through free agency. Who knows, guys? Somebody's going to come out. Sometimes you gamble and you bring all these players in, and you don't know the outcome. I mean, with Weaver defense, guys, I think they will his knowledge in the defense, his playbook with the players that they actually got from free agency. I think Miami should be okay. Now we want the best for the team, and we all do, but we have to be realistic, guys. I mean, it's like I tell you, I told you guys, and I said this probably years ago. You know, you pick a rabbit out of a hat, and you're searching for your pieces to put in your team. And sometimes you're gonna have a good safety, a bad safety. You're gonna have a good corner, a bad corner. So that's something that through the season we'll see what player can develop, especially in that particular defense of Weaver. And the offensive side, it's a different story when it comes to McDaniel. Now, of course, he's going to alleviate from play calling, which that's a good thing. I know a lot of teams caught Miami game plan of what they're doing with the cutting the middle with Waddle, cutting the middle with Tyreek Hill. They knew that the ball was going to be thrown to Tyreek or Waddle, and then of course our tight end merged last year, and that helped us develop even more because what it does is it builds another weapon for Tua Tagovailoa. Now, once again, the main concern for the 2025 Miami Dolphins is their health all across the board, guys. Okay, this is something that when I tell you guys that I do believe in a 53-man roster, when I say that, you have to give these guys an opportunity to shine in the NFL, to prove something in the NFL. You put a guy there for 2 or 3 plays, and then you guys think, oh my God, he's awful. When Chop Robinson came in, all right, what do the media does? What do fan does? Oh man, that's a bust. That's not going to work out. The kid had a tremendous second half. It just takes some adjusting, adjusting to the game, to the gameplay, to the films, because of course they go to films and watch films, and study films, like whatever you want to call it. But you got to give a player an opportunity, and this is one thing as a fan we don't, we want a player that just hit the field and shine right away. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way, guys. That's why I tell you guys, when you get a job and they say, hey, you know how to do this? You say, yeah. On the first day, you say, what in the world? I got to study this. I got to learn this. Maybe it's not going to be good your first day at work. But as the time goes by, you progress and you make it better. And that's one thing in my podcast. That's why I'm so positive, guys. I'm not going to let these gossip and reporters and analysis and all this come in play, because I don't go there. They're human like us, man. They make mistakes. They learn from it. They get adapt, and once they get used to it and they get comfortable, man, they can take off. Yes, we're human. We got strength and we got weaknesses. And that's one thing I look at the Miami Dolphins this year. Okay, where does McDaniel has to work on? Where does Weaver has to work on? That's easy, guys. On the weakness, not on the strength. Miami have great players. And I'm going to say that they got a tough schedule. I mean, they got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, they got the division with the Buffalo Bills. They got, New England Patriots, the Jets. For me, is to focus of every piece of the puzzle that they just picked and get the right players. But remember, there's speed attributions, there's skills attribution. There's so many things that contributes in the NFL and sports that it's hard to find the right matchup to match the players together one-on-one. It's not easy. I mean, sometimes speed could beat a slower person. But sometimes a smarter person can also beat a speed. You know what I'm saying? It really triggers in their mindset. He's fast, but I'm stronger. And those things that those factors, key factors that comes in the NFL. That speed is good. I mean, look at the cheetah, and they call it Waddle. They call him the penguin. They're pretty fast receivers. They're great, but they can find good, cornerbacks and safety that can run at their speed. They can. It's just. I think it's a learning process. Is a thing that a player does. I mean, they're gifted. And once again, they are gifted because God made them that way. God gave them that gift, and whether people believe it or not, that's okay. That's my opinion. They weren't born, when you come out of your mother's stomach, oh, he's a wide receiver. Let's be honest, that's not the truth. Or he came out of your mom's womb and he's a quarterback. We don't know that. They develop, they grow up, they go to college, and they love the sports, and they become a professional football player. I'll leave it to that. I'm not going to get into all that, personal thing from a player because I'm not going to get into that. But they develop and they become superstars. And then, of course, the issue that I talk a lot is about the ego and pride. Once they get to that, then, see, that's why I say money sometimes is good and money sometimes it's not good. So you got to say it both ways. And listen, I'm not saying that a player don't deserve, what they get out there and, the contract and all that because they work hard. There's an off season, there's OTAs, there's a preseason, and then comes the regular season. And it's not easy, and you say, well, George, they only play on Sundays. Yeah, but they work every day, Monday to Fridays. They got classes, they got film studies, they got the gym to hit. I mean, it just continue to go on and on. But my only thing with the Miami Dolphins, once again, it's stay healthy. The key thing is stay healthy for 2025. If the Miami Dolphins can stay healthy, yes, I know there's injury that's going to occur because we're playing not a 16-game season, a 17-game season. But I'm going to say this. If you protect Tua Tagovailoa and Waddle can stay healthy, and so does Tyreek Hill, watch out, guys. Tua could have another season that he had when he led the NFL a year ago in passing. And I believe that Miami is going to be a good team, a decent team. Yes, I'm sorry to say this. It is a Buffalo Bill division because the Buffalo Bill really proved something to all of us last year. Yes, all these teams that has lost key players or via trade, via free agency. That's part of sports. Some GMs, general managers, and some owners, just like us, they make good decisions. At the same time, they make bad decisions. Teams that right now that I see that, guys, and I see it in general, they are going to have a bad season. And you just look at it and that's not saying because I don't like them or I'm used to Dallas Cowboys. That division with the Eagles, the Commanders, where they're at, that's going to be a division between the Commanders and the Eagles. That's it. That's the way I see it. I could be wrong, and this is early, and I'm not going to make no prediction yet. I make my prediction as they get closer, as the NFL draft and as the season come closer, because I look at injury, a preseason. I look who's playing, who's not playing, who got cut, who got released. And this is the advantage that the team has when you go through preseason, when you get some of these veterans cut and released because of a young guy that comes in and take over, which is okay. That's part of football, guys. That's part of football. It doesn't mean that you're bad, that you're not good. All it means is you got a younger guy, that plays well. Let's use the Ravens. I don't want to skip too much in so many things. Look at the Ravens when they started last year. Brand new offensive line, all rookies. The coach says, hey, it's okay. There'll be days that you're going to go through that and you guys going to get adapted. And when you guys get adapted to it and get used to it, and listen, they play well at the end of the year. I mean, Derek Henry could tell you that. He said, man, the beginning of the season, he said, what in the world's going on? These guys are not blocking. This guy, but he knew what he had in front of him. After that, they all worked together, and the guy had a tremendous year, especially, the Ravens. That's another team you got to watch out again this year. And so Steelers, I'm worried about the Steelers. Steeler fans, I'm going to say this. I'm worried about because you don't have a quarterback. I'm going to say, and I know a lot of people are going to get disappointed with me, I don't think Roger is your answer. I'll be honest with you. For me, man, I love Roger. And not that I'm mocking him or anything, man. I wish him the best. I wish he could retire and enjoy retirement. But you know what? Once again, ego and pride, man. Just let it go, man. You won the Super Bowl. You had a great career. You got some records there that you accomplished in Green Bay. That's it, man. It's like he's doing a Brett Favre, man. Brett Favre, saying the same steps. The good thing is Minnesota backed up and says, I don't want to deal with this. And can you blame Minnesota? No, you cannot blame Minnesota Vikings. That's something that, they made a decision and they kept their quarterback, which is a young quarterback, and they're going to move on forward. Now, remember, the draft's coming up, so anything could happen. But anyhow, guys, I want to thank those that have subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm at 536 subscribers. Uh, Once again, I do a lot of YouTube shorts. My YouTube shorts building information, inspirational things, that I help people. Uh, we're living in a world that we need to be more together, uh, especially supporting one another, helping one another, encouraging one another. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to say something that I never said in this program. There's good people and there's bad people. But we could work on the bad people. On the good people, man, just leave your light shine. Don't give up. I've been saying all along, and every time on my podcast, you have a dream, pursue it. You have a career, go for it. Everything in the world is challenging, but everything is possible with the guy up there. And that I could take it to the bank. I'm not ashamed to say it. And I respect everybody's opinion and everybody's way of doing things in life, because who am I to judge, right? I can't judge anybody. That's why I tell everybody in my podcast, I love everybody in my podcast. That doesn't matter where you come from or where you're from. I love you regardless, because that's who I am. And that's one thing, I say it again, nobody could take that away from me. Okay? That's if I'm doing this podcast here, whether I'm doing it on the street, whether I'm anywhere. That's who I am. Okay? I understand this. Some people say, wow, it's easy for you to say. Really, it's not easy for me to say, because the guy up there, he lives in me. And I want to thank my mom, my dad, which they passed away a long time ago, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because that's what happened. That's part of life. But they treat me well. They show me well. Respect is one of the biggest things that we need in this world. And besides that, is unity. If you never see my short, what the word Jesus stands for, each letter, just check it out and you see it. It's in my shorts. It's amazing. And people say, wow, George, how do you do this? Well, I'm not a pastor, and I'm not. I'm just a guy that God uses, and it's a vessel. So God uses his vessel to encourage and help other people, and that's what I do. But anyhow, I want to thank you so much for those that join in, those that listen. I'm going to tell you, just leave a comment, guys. It's very important. Right now, the only thing I'm worried about my watch hours, but that's okay. There's certain times you're supposed to be posting on YouTube and all that, but I'm not here competing with nobody. Somebody asked me a while back, what are you doing this for? I do this for fun, for enjoyment, and to interact with my people. And you know what? Around the world, there's a lot of good people. I could tell you there's a lot of good people. Just whatever you're doing, man, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Just do it. Follow your goal, follow your dream. Whatever you want to do, man, I'm here to support you. Anybody that comes in and give me their channel and subscribe, man, I do it. I do it with love, what comes out of my heart. That's how I do it. I'm not here to say, what are you doing? I mean, see, social media is big all over, all over these platforms, okay? I'm not here to get into nobody's personal life. I'm going to tell you the truth. I want you to feel encouraged. I want you to feel power. I want you to feel good about yourself, because you are special to me. All you guys are. Not only the 522 subscribers, those that exit my subscription, 127 subscribers. Amen. More power to you, buddy. I love you the same. There's no regrets. This is what you do. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm gonna get mad? No. Why should I? Love is a big, big word. And love only comes from one place, and it's inside of you. So, and don't forget, always shine your light, because I know you have it in you, and don't be ashamed. But anyhow, thank you so much for those that have subscribed once again. Don't forget to hit the like button, and you guys have a blessed night, and see you tomorrow. God bless.